Welcome to The Growth Equation. This isn't your typical business podcast. We're keeping it real about the challenges of scaling up, period. I'm Tristan Wright and I've been there. I've built and scaled my own business. I've sold it. I've learned a ton along the way. Now I'm bringing you the no BS stories of founders who are in the trenches right now, navigating that messy middle. We're talking advertising, marketing, design, creative, branding, the whole 9 yards. Doesn't matter if you're a solopreneur or running a team of 100. Everyone's got a secret sauce, that thing that makes them different, better. We're going to uncover it. So grab a coffee and let's get real. Today we're talking to Josh from Hedgehog. Josh, we've been chatting for the last few weeks on and off, so I've been really looking forward to this conversation. How are you today, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We won't tell everyone that we've already spoken for about an hour today. So just planning what's happening in the future. So, man, tell us a bit about who you are and why we're talking today and a bit about your business.
Yeah. So I'm Josh from Hedgehog. We're a marketing firm. We call ourselves a done with you marketing firm. So we work together with businesses to basically empower them to build their own in-house marketing function. So we're not like a typical service-based agency where we don't manage service-based agencies. So we don't kind of sell, specific management of channels like Facebook ads or SEO or Google ads or anything like that. But we work holistically across the entire digital marketing function of the business and help kind of coach, train, consult, empower, mentor, whatever words you'd like to use. Basically teach companies how to run their own marketing.
Nice one. So why are people going to work with you? You don't have 2 decades, 3 decades worth of experience. I don't think you do anyway. So why would people want to work with you over a traditional marketing agency?
Yeah, I've just had heaps of plastic surgery.
That's why there's no wrinkles when you smile.
Yeah, I'm trying. I guess where the experiences come from is I've been working in marketing for quite a while. It's been 15 years or so. So I'm not at the 2-decade mark, but I think 15 years you get a fair bit of experience in there. But in a previous life, I ran a full service creative advertising agency, and all the way from brand development through to creative campaign ideation, through to execution and managed services, and just ran campaigns across a whole bunch of different businesses and just gathered all the insights from there. And I was able to just build that expertise and then kind of deliver it to people in a more one-on-one coaching consultation process, which I just found to be a bit more personally rewarding, but also valuable for my clients.
Yeah, nice. So take us back to day one. Did you study marketing? Did you study engineering? What was your journey after school?
Yeah, well, before studying. Well, actually, no, not before studying.
You might not have even studied. You might have been self-taught.
Yeah. I studied psychology, so I've got an undergrad in psychology. And then in my first year of uni, I slipped my disc in my back and was at home for 3 months. And there was the hospital for a couple of weeks and rehab for a couple of weeks, live in rehab center.
How did you do that? Sport or?
10-pin bowling.
Oh, no, you're serious? With Erin, my partner, and there was some 10-pin bowling last week. And she was whinging for 3 days saying, I've hurt my hip. I don't know how to do 10-pin bowling. So maybe it's not just her. You did it as well.
Yeah, it's not as easy as they make it look. You got to wear the shoes. If you wear the shoes, don't wear them, you're in for a bad time.
Yeah.
So I was just out of my back, and like the rehab center was saying, maybe if you're lucky, you might be able to go back to uni part-time in a few years. And I was, a 19-year-old kid, and I was just like, screw that. That's not what I want to be working towards. And so I was like, kind of like sitting on my back thinking, okay, how do I make some money? And so I kind of just learned about technology and spent a lot of time on the computer. And then I started up like a Android phone news and reviews website. And so I grew that a fair bit. Had like 15 writers around Australia, and our biggest month was like 300,000 visitors to the website, which was pretty cool. And then just like self-taught marketing through that, and just kind of being like, okay, well, I have to figure out a way to live, so I'm going to teach myself marketing here. That was the start of the journey, but I can keep going if you want, but I'll pause there.
Keep going. This is exciting. So what really intrigues me is that you started studying psychology, and there's so much overlap with psychology and marketing. People don't often join the dots there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, look, and when I started applying for jobs after finishing my degree, all the employers said, you got a psychology degree, you must understand a lot about marketing. And I'd nod and smile. I think there is probably a lot that you can learn from both of them. And to be honest, I probably just didn't pay enough attention in uni to really draw the lines there. But it was just more of like a way of thinking and understanding people, I suppose. But
yes.
But yeah, and I did the website, and then Google owns Android, so I applied for an internship at the marketing team at Google, and then did an internship at Google, and stupidly just let the website die, basically, because I was too excited about working at Google, and I was like, well, I'm not going to spend any time on this website. It got me here, but I probably should have done something with that. And then I did that internship, went back to uni. I was like, okay, I'll buckle down and get my degree now and finish the next couple of years. And worked like an experiential agency doing Google stuff in like retail stores, training staff members there how to sell Google stuff. And then I did another internship at Google at the end of my degree in the marketing team. And then worked at the Urban List, which is like a lifestyle publication in Sydney. I ran the marketing up there for about 9 months. Joined a startup briefly for 6 months, worked in sales, until my sister, who was a copywriter, approached me and said she wants to start an agency and do you want to start it together? And I'll do the sales, business marketing side of it. She'll do the copywriting side of it. And she's more in the creative advertising industry. And then that's when we started the agency, which was also called Hedgehog. It was version 1 of Hedgehog.
How old were you guys? How old were you and your sister at the time of starting V1 Hedgehog?
I think 24. 24? Yeah, 24.
So relatively young.
Yes, very young.
What was that like running a business, an agency at 24 with your sister?
It was good and bad and crazy and wild. Yeah. It was like, we got along really well. We always got along really well. It's pretty hard doing stuff with friends or family, and there's always nitty-gritty things that come up, but we've got a great relationship, so that's awesome. There's never really much of an issue and never really got in the way because we see each other a lot outside of work as well. So yeah, that, like, to be honest, like, working with my sister was fine, but working, both of us being relatively young, a lot of hard yards there and figuring things out the hard way rather than the easy way.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially if when you were hiring staff and leading staff in your early 20s, there would have been a few mistakes along the way.
Yeah, definitely.
How big did you get Hedgehog version 1 to?
So I think there were 11 of us, 11 full-time staff.
Yeah.
And that we reached that after 12 months of running the business.
So you were 25 and your sister was a similar age, and you had 11 staff, and you'd never previously had people reporting through to you. Is that correct? Before running Hedgehog?
Only volunteer basis with my Android website.
Yeah. So what was that like, leading a team of 11 at 25, making sure you could feed each of them, give them money to feed, so they could feed their families, so to speak?
It was super stressful. It was a lot of late nights, very much like hustle culture, stay at the office for ages, putting out fires, all this kind of stuff. And like a great learning experience. I mean, we all had a really fun time. And I'm not just saying that. I think everybody had a really fun time at Hedgehog, but it was also, we didn't have all like the proper processes and systems and SOPs or whatever they're called.
Well, they were at the time. You're 25.
Yeah. I only just learned them like 6 months ago. But no, we just didn't have all that set up. It was like a lot of just like running on the treadmill, or hamster wheel, whatever term to use, and trying to figure things out as we go. So we didn't really we didn't really stop, take stock, have a think about where we're going. We were just like, let's go, let's keep growing. And we thought, let's just try that out.
When did you realize if you were making money or losing money?
We were definitely making money at the start, and then we were just like, get clients, fill that revenue with headcount so that we can continue to build from there. And we were never really like myself making like, big bucks of like, what you probably should have been in a business that size. It was more so just kind of like, let's just leverage it and scale and grow. So we never were really making money. And then kind of as we were going along the journey, we got to the point of being like, okay, well, really what happened was we had our biggest client basically just end up not paying us. And we learned the hard lesson of getting people to pay you before the fact rather than after the fact, or having some kind of buffer so that you can carry the team while something like that happens. And then that kind of kickstarted things. And then that caused a whole lot of stress and distraction, which made it harder to deliver services to other clients. And it was just a bit of a snowball effect there.
Yeah. So you obviously ended up winding that business up. I just realised that your teacup, so those that aren't watching on video, Josh is drinking a coffee or a tea and it's got a hedgehog on it.
Yes. I'm all about the optics,
Yeah, I love it. So you and your sister ended up winding that company up?
Yeah, well, the company itself didn't. The company technically didn't wind up. The company now exists as the new Hedgehog,
Yes.
but we ended up downscaling that, and just a slow progression where we unfortunately had to let go of members of the team as we kind of downscaled that business and just let it kind of restabilize and reimagine itself of what it is, and go for a bit more purposeful approach where we, a bit more thinking of kind of what we'd be offering and make that a bit more stable.
Yeah. Tell me about some of those lessons that you learned as a 25-year-old, 26-year-old.
The founder needs to be stable before the company can be stable.
So when you say that the founder needs to be stable, like as in you need to know what you're doing, or
as in like you need to be financially stable as a founder to allow yourself to run a company that can be financially stable, because otherwise you're just going to be having, split.
Your back's against the wall when there's issues.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't bail it out, and the company can't bail you out, and then you're stuck in a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
And then, just all the things like don't scale too quickly, hire slowly. I think we were talking about that before. Hire slowly, be purposeful, understand how it can be profitable in a system and a process. We were just like, we're people who are doing good marketing and good content. Let's hire more people, and more clients kept coming. And we're like, oh my God, we're so busy. Let's just keep hiring. Probably should have just slowed it down, not taken on new clients, just done great work for some of those ones we were originally doing, on some great systems, and then hired people. But instead we said, let's hire people and they can help us figure it out along the way.
Yeah. I've got a rule of thumb that about 30% year-on-year growth is where you want to limit it to, unless you've got external investment, which will in turn bring you external guidance. But I'm going to guess, well, I know you had much higher than 30% year-on-year growth.
Well, yeah, from year 0 to year 1. It was crazy growth. And we had someone did once approach, like we had a couple of people will approach us about wanting to invest in the business or even early stage acquire. And we ended up saying no, but we thought about it a long time. We thought, do we want some hands to help us move in this direction? And could have been a good idea, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Like that was back in the day. It's that's not what happened in the end. So your sister ended up exiting the business, and she's gone on to do whatever she's doing now. And the current incarnation of the business is Hedgehog Marketing, which is a done with you.
Correct. Yes. Ali, my sister, is a 4-time rom-com author. Just released Love Overdue. I have to give it a quick shout out.
Doesn't she have a pseudonym for her books, or is it under her name?
It's under her name, but it's her and her friend are co-authors. So Ali and Michelle.
Yeah, nice one. So what's the name of the book so we can give it a proper shout out?
Love Overdue.
Love Overdue. I'm going to get Aaron to go and review it for us. So, all right. So your sister left the business. Was it still a service-based business at the time, or how long did it take you to make the decision to change it to the done with you model?
Yeah, so it was still service-based, but I was moving towards a consulting business. So that was kind of like the original shift. So we still had some service-based clients, still good, get the revenue in, still deliver the services to them so we can help balance it out while we're repositioning things and move slowly rather than needing the money. Never want to need the money. And then move towards consulting. So that was the initial stage, and it took me a while to figure out like what that consulting offer is and how to package that up and productize it.
Businesses struggle when they're pivoting from one offer to the other.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that was 2019 when all of that was going down. 2019 was like the downscale year, and we all know what happened in 2020. But in March, it was just me. It was just me, and then COVID hit or whatever, and then lost like I think it was like 3/4 of the clients or 3/4 of the revenue in that 1 month. Even though it's digital marketing, but everyone freaked out. And then the next month, the revenue doubled what it was the prior month.
Wow.
So because I just repositioned it in this kind of consultative approach with digital marketing, which then everybody decided they really needed. So that was, it kind of ended up helping a little bit in that case.
Yeah. So you went from good month to terrible month to double the following month. It's amazing what that outside influence, COVID obviously, can do for a business.
But look, we're talking not big numbers there because it was part of the early stage repositioning.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that was the original reposition, just consulting. And I was just like, book a meeting with me, we'll do a workshop here. And it was like figuring out what works here and there and seeing what's really successful, and then really slowly just kind of building it out. And then not just like one-off consultations or one-off jobs, but then end up productizing it, turning it into a monthly retainer, all those kinds of fun things.
I want to hear about that journey to productizing, because so many people talk about it, so many people attempt it, but not many people or businesses are successful at productizing. So I want to spend some time chatting about how you did that.
I was heavily influenced by 2 books. One was The Win Without Pitching Manifesto by Blair Enns, which speaks about not pitching for individual jobs, but I ended up what I took from that was productize a service that fits many people, or fits many businesses, that doesn't require me to spend time pitching, which is from the old creative advertising space. And the other was the business of expertise by David C. Baker. That's his name, which is all about building expertise by repetitive actions or repetitive work, which then it means that you end up becoming more and more of an expert in the area, which means that you're more differentiated and specialized and niched than everybody else. And so that's really what I wanted to do. Is I just wanted to do this. I wanted to not pitch at all, appeal to a large group of people, specialize by repetitive work, and then build out a productized service offering based off of that. And just thinking about like what the initial like requirement or need is. So I started with just saying, I'll do your reporting for you on a monthly basis, and then I'll report for you, and then I'll advise on what you should be doing next off the back of that report. And then slowly kind of adding in ancillary services which were relevant to that client as time went on.
Yeah. How did you feel by basically narrowing down your service offering? Were you ever questioning yourself? You're like, okay, I'm niching too far or reducing my services too much?
I need to go further. I'm not niche enough. I'm not narrow enough. I mean, everyone's scared to do it. It was scary, and everyone's scared to do it because you're like, what? I can't appeal to this person then they don't want to buy my services. And it's like, well, good. Don't sell it to them. Sell it to somebody else you're specialized for and charge more for it because you're better at it.
That's exactly how you need to look at it.
Yeah. And we're still pretty broad. We're still, we work with all small and medium-sized businesses, but we do have a niche in that we're done with you model, and we teach companies how to run it themselves. It'd be cool if maybe we only do that in e-commerce, or we only do that in lead gen. We're not there yet. That might be a future stage for us. But it was really scary at the time. But to be honest, I just went to the gym every day and listened to. Well, I didn't go to the gym every day. I'd like to say that I went to the gym every day, but I went to the gym a lot, or walked and did things like that during COVID. And when you could go to the gym again, and listen to the podcast by those 2 authors, which kept always talking about specialization, reading things about specialization, and just being like, okay, you got to do it.
Yeah, you're right, because people go to subject matter experts and they'll pay more for a subject matter expert. So rather than going to a generalist, so generalist is a safe option, but you're less likely to convert, and you're not able to charge as much for a generalist.
Yeah, exactly.
So what does the business look like today?
So it's still a relatively small business because we are growing very slowly with purpose. But so it's myself in Melbourne, Teddy up in Ballina, which is near Byron Bay. And then we also have Micah over in the Philippines. They are looking to just bring somebody on now, locally in Australia as well. So kind of just slowly growing. That's just functionally or headcount, how we exist. And yeah, the business is that done with you model. People come to us, they might say, we don't know what to do with our marketing at all. They might say, we just want you to train us on a particular platform or channel. Or they might want some help in actually just setting up some channels for them and setting up some implementation for them.
Now, you say, yes, you've only got a headcount of 3 and potentially 4 quite soon. And so you say you're growing slowly, and yes, you are. But knowing your revenue, and I'm not going to share it today, is the way your revenue is a lot higher than a lot of businesses that sometimes have got double that headcount. And for me and you, it's because you've been able to specialize, and you're able to charge more. People are willing to pay that premium.
Yeah, exactly. Success isn't based on headcount. 9 years ago, Josh would say success was based on headcount. Well, I probably wouldn't have said that, but that's probably what I was thinking. I was just hiring, and you get stuck in this headcount game, and everyone's like, well, how many staff do you have? But it's not what it's about. It's just about revenue and profit. That's all that really matters.
It's about impact that you have with your client and the money that goes to your back pocket and to your team members' back pocket. Who cares about? It doesn't matter about top line revenue. It matters about bottom line revenue and impact.
Exactly.
So, and you can do just as much with 3 staff as you can with 7 staff. So
yeah, and I mean now we just use lots of AI as well and everything. And I mean the first step of that was building the reporting. Like when I started productizing the business, and what used to take what used to take 3 times as long, and we would charge 6 times less to do it. And then doing things like reporting, but then I was like, okay, let's build a dashboard, and built a all-in-one inclusive dashboard that puts all our clients' marketing data in one place and easy for us to read, all these kinds of things. It's just speed up the process. Productized, we have a product with a dashboard, makes us faster. And then now even building that into customer trained AI and all these different tools, it just makes us much more able to deliver the service.
Yeah, anything that can be repeated or done a second or a third time should be automated. So the fact that you've been able to productize your business allows you to automate a lot of it. And then you can just analyze the data and make decisions from there.
If only we had more time to automate all of it, or more of it. Not all of it, but more of it.
All of the repetitive stuff that then allows you to analyze and give recommendations.
Yeah.
So, now, you said you were using AI and putting customers' data into it. Tell us what you're doing with that.
So, yes, we've got our dashboard, which hosts all the data. So that's not AI based. That's just a custom dashboard that we've built. It's data warehousing and hooks all into all their platforms. AI, I mean, we're ChatGPT users, but we just have a whole library of custom GPTs that we've built for basically anything that somebody would want to do in their marketing. So write a blog post, even starting from the basics, like develop your customer personas, your content pillars, your content calendar, then writing individual things like blog posts, Instagram posts, social media content, on any of the advertising platforms, like what targeting you should use, what kind of headlines and imagery and graphics, or even creating that imagery and graphics for you, making email marketing sequences and flows and newsletters. And there's I don't even know how many we have, 50 or something, but it's just a whole library that anyone can kind of access, and just anything they really need to do in their marketing, they can get it done. And we give all that to our clients. It's not for us to do, because we're all about empowering them to do it themselves.
Yeah, nice. So you've created these GPTs, and then just people go in and access them, and they still have to drive it themselves and input all the base data, but it just saves them all of that time to create the output.
Yeah, exactly. And we help guide through that. We've got toolkits of how to use these things and how to get the best out of them and what kind of data they need. But then also at the end of the day, none of it's you can't just take it and run with it, because you'll need to go in there and make a few edits.
Yeah, of course.
But they get him pretty damn good.
Yeah, nice. What does the future for Hedgehog look like?
Who knows? Who knows?
We've been talking about this. You're not the only person that struggles with it.
Yeah, I think we are growing slowly and with purpose. So that's why we haven't kind of decided on what the future is at this point in time. What I envision is a small marketing firm that could end up being 5 or 10 individuals who are just delivering fantastic insights to the clients and really helping them build their marketing functions. Not just about the headcount, but just wanting to constantly be focused on how the service can be improved, how it can be better. And just ideally, at the end of the day, any business in Australia or internationally, if they feel so inclined, could come and really just want to give them all the resources they need to get their marketing done. So a lot of what we do is one-on-one coaching, consulting, providing these resources, but it might not exist in those formats in the future. We're just wanting to continue to build out all the resources we can. And we've got a big focus on just making free content so that our clients can just really just run their marketing without needing other resources like agencies or freelancers. They might use those when their time is right, but to be able to get a lot done internally.
Yeah. How is the industry, AI, automations, how is that going, and global staffing, how is that going to impact the way that Hedgehog could look? Because what it looked like a couple of years ago, what it looks like today, will be vastly different because of those external influences.
Yeah, I just think we're able to get a lot more done with the tools at hand, with AI and AI and those kinds of tools. At the end of the day, it just means that each individual can get more out there, more done in their day, and their clients can get more done. So it's I guess it's a pretty hard time for the content creation industry, and particularly the copywriting industry, because AI does a lot of the writing for you. But yeah, for us, I mean, I think it's just you get a lot done. International resourcing, like for Hedgehog, we want to everyone who's kind of consulting our clients is onshore in Australia. I mentioned we have Micah on board in the team, who's great. She's in the Philippines and works together with us on our kind of side business that we also have called Mechanic Marketing. Get into as well if you like.
Yeah. So tell us about Mechanic Marketing, because at the end of the day, it all fits under the same umbrella.
Yeah. So Mechanic Marketing is a done-for-you agency focusing on mechanics and auto repair shops in Australia. Basically do Google Ads, or help you get found online via Google Ads, SEO, building high-converting landing pages, Google Business Profile optimization, and that's pretty much it. And Micah in the Philippines helps us kind of run through a lot of that implementation for each of those clients, and that side of the business is something that we're looking to scale both kind of a 50-50 Australia and overseas. But yeah, that's pretty much Mechanic Marketing.
So why, like if you've got Hedgehog Marketing going nicely, why add in Mechanic Marketing?
Because we were working with a lot of mechanics at Hedgehog who were doing the done with you service, and then we kept getting referrals to other mechanics, but then a lot of them just didn't want to do it themselves. They're just like, I don't want to learn anything about marketing. And so we thought, okay, there's an opportunity there for it done for you. And we're quite experienced and specialized in that space anyway at Hedgehog. So it just made sense to niche on it and make a separate business. Didn't want to niche Hedgehog as mechanics only, because it's not anywhere near most of our business. It's, we work with a whole bunch of different types of companies, but it made sense, just a natural extension to work with.
Yeah.
And it just keeps us good as well, because with Hedgehog we get to oversee and overview so much data from so many different companies, campaigns they're running, and this and that, and we can kind of house all of that in our brains and our collective knowledge. But then Mechanic Marketing is we can now actually just have our hands on the tools, and running a done for you service as well while running the done with you just makes us better at our jobs.
So theoretically, you started with Hedgehog, the done with you. The done for you is now Mechanic Marketing. You could go into other verticals like physio marketing, whatever it is, once you've got Mechanic Marketing up and running all by itself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a potential future. There's quite a bit of space in there with mechanics. There's quite a few of them in Australia, but it can definitely go into other verticals. Just when there's enough time to do so.
That's it. So let's go back to Josh from 3 years ago. What advice do you wish you could have given Josh from 3 years ago?
What was 3 years ago? Where are we now? 2020, my goodness.
Coming towards the end of COVID, when it didn't look like COVID was ever going to end.
Yeah. To be honest, I reckon Josh from 3 years ago was pretty good. I didn't have many problems with Josh from 3 years ago. Josh from 6 years ago, I think, could have used a bit more advice. Not to say that
Josh had been given.
Sorry?
What advice from six years ago, Josh, then?
I reckon that, from 6 years ago, it's a great question. I mean, I was kind of saying a bunch of the things, like the mistakes that I'd made earlier in the agency. I think kind of in this repositioning of the agency, I don't know, probably like just keeping your head down and focusing on what is making money and improving and building on that. I have had in the past, and still do, a bit of shiny object syndrome, and get really excited about something new. So it's probably like 4 years ago I started up like another side business because lots of fun. But I had another business called Buy Vegan, buyvegan.com.au, Australia's a directory of all the vegan products you can buy in Australia, rated and reviewed by the community. It's like 2,000 reviews from people on all the vegan products in Australia. But I didn't appropriately look into it and how hard it would be to turn that into a business. And it was quite a bit of a distraction. One that I'm passionate about, but something that probably delayed some of the growth in Hedgehog because I ended up being, distracted.
You didn't have your eyes on the prize. You're like, yep, here's another challenge. Let's go and do that challenge. You're enjoying it. You're good at it, but it's not getting you to your end goal.
Yeah, exactly. And it's much harder to grow something from scratch than to build on something you already have.
Totally. So basically the advice is work out what's working, double down on that, and remove all other distractions.
Yeah, good summary. That's why they pay you the big bucks.
Great. It's been a pleasure talking. If people want to get in touch, what's the best way to connect?
Just our website, hedgehogmarketing.com.au. You can also just find me on LinkedIn or wherever you want to. If you search my name, you might find my old article where I turned $1.24 into $1,000 of Uber Eats credit, which is one of my claim to fames.
Tell us about this before we go any further.
Okay. Yes, it was actually how we launched Hedgehog 1.0. Was back in the day on Uber Eats, when you refer someone, you maybe even still get it. You each get $10 off your next order, but nobody had Uber Eats when it first launched in Australia. So everyone gets their own individual unique referral code. I registered the domain iloveubereats.com, and then I just wrote on there, "Hey, I'm Josh from Melbourne, and I want to eat for free for the rest of my life." And then I put my Uber Eats code on the website. And I was like, use this code and we each get $10 off your next order. And to get traffic to that website, I set up Google Ads. And back then they were offering a free $75 of credit. And so I didn't pay any money on Google Ads, but I ran that $75 and I ended up turning $1.24, which is how much it cost me to register the domain iloveubereats.com, because I used another coupon code to do that. Turned into $1,000 of credit. Then I wrote the article. Then it became another $1,000. Then Uber Eats sent me a cease and desist letter and said that I had to take it all down.
I would have thought Uber would have loved it because it was free marketing for them.
Yeah, it was actually against the terms and conditions because you're only meant to share the code with your friends and family. But the cease and desist was purely because I used their logo on my website. But I freaked out because I was young and I was like, I'll take it down. Yeah. And then I actually wrote an article about how I did it all. And in that article, I said which platforms I used to get the coupon codes for this and that. And I used referral links for all of those as well. And then I ended up making another few $1,000s on people copying me. And I wrote in the article, if you want to learn how to do it, just email me here. And I think for the next 5 or 6 years, I'd get multiple emails weekly of people being I want to do this in France. I want to do this in Portugal or whatever. And then, copying me around the world. But then,
that's cool. Something so simple and so viral.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great way to start Hedgehog as well.
Yeah, it's a good story. People aren't going to forget that.
Yeah.
All right, mate. You have a good one.
Awesome. Thank you. You too. Thanks for the chat.
Thanks. That's a wrap. Thanks for tuning into The Growth Equation. If you've enjoyed the show, hit that subscribe button and leave a review. It helps us big time. Catch you next time. And if you want more, head over to evolvetogrow.com.au for show notes and exclusive content.